Okay, so if you didn't notice, CM Punk is ending another section of controversy again. There's rumors circulating that he's pretty much quit the WWE. His contract was supposed to be, I think, in like June or July, but he's pretty much done. It's hard to know if this is a shoot or a work to try to get his way, into a better match at WrestleMania, or if this is legit. CM Punk has had quite an issue when it comes to the part-timers. And his concern is actually quite legitimate. After he beat John Cena at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in Chicago, arguably probably one of the best wrestling matches we've ever had with probably one of the best storylines, he was then attacked by Kevin Nash, lost the belt to Del Rio. Then entered into a really bad feud with Kevin Nash that never happened because of Nash's either financial, if you listen to Nash, or his health reasons, if you listen to the E. He then went on to have a match against Triple H, which he lost. So pretty much from SummerSlam until I want to say it was TLC, he really didn't have anything going until he regained the title at TLC, which then led to him being champion for well over a year. Who's he dropped the belt to? The Rock, a part-timer. So he had the title, great storyline, tremendous push going on. Gets attacked by Nash, that doesn't happen. Faces Triple H, loses. Has this massive title run. Loses to The Rock at the Royal Rumble. Next pay-per-view, fights The Rock, loses. WrestleMania, goes into a tremendous feud with The Undertaker, loses. Comes back at Payback to take on another part-timer, Chris Jericho. What happens after his feud with Chris Jericho? He feuds with Brock Lesnar. Loses the feud with Brock Lesnar. Then feuds with Paul Heyman and the Heyman lackeys. Okay, at least they're people who wrestle on a regular basis. Then he joins Daniel Bryan to face the Wyatts one time. He then begins a feud with The Shield, which is pretty much a precursor of him having a feud with either Kane or Triple H. Now he also has a feud with who else? The New Age Outlaws. Jump forward to WrestleMania. WrestleMania had, you ready for this? 5 matches. 5. New Age Outlaws versus the Brotherhood. Winners, New Age Outlaws. Part-timers. Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt. Cena Orton. Show Lesnar. Lesnar wins. Main event, Royal Rumble. Winner, Dave Bautista. So out of the first pay-per-view of the year, 3 matches are won by, that's right, part-timers. Who is currently going to headline WrestleMania? It is going to be Batista. Okay. WrestleMania currently, the way they're kind of parsing it out, either Daniel Bryan or CM Punk will either have a feud against Kane or Triple H. Okay. Potentially Brock Lesnar will be taking on The Undertaker, which will be another huge match. And Batista will fight for the championship. So if you want to go back, the past 3 WrestleManias, the main drawing factor has been The Rock. It was The Rock when it was Miz Cena. It was The Rock when he fought Cena. It was The Rock when he fought Cena for the title. And now it's whoever's going to fight Batista. If this is, the time when Punk says he's done. Punk mentioned a few years ago he's got a couple years left in him. He pretty much wants to be able to, you know what, I've got enough money. I'm kind of done with this. I had enough popularity that I can go do WizCons, I can do autograph signings, I can go to Blackhawks games, I can go to Cubs games, I can do whatever I want to do. I've got the money to just walk away and be done. Unless his other plan is, if I let my contract expire, if I leave, maybe if I come back like in 4 years when he'll be roughly 40, come back in 4 years, win the Rumble, which he hasn't done yet, and main event WrestleMania, which he hasn't done yet. If you look at his list of accomplishments, he's pretty much done everything except for, of course, win the Money in the Bank, win the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania. I did find it odd that when Daniel Bryan was getting attacked, Sheamus and John Cena came down. Cena has had issues with the Shield. Sheamus, not so much. Ironically, CM Punk would have made more sense. apparently he was pseudo in the doghouse or actually not even there. You know, I mean, he did happen to make some pretty decent comments. I do think a feud with him and Kane would be interesting. But if he is done, you know, he does have legitimate gripe. If this is another great swerve, and CM Punk is pretty good when it comes to working the marks, working the crowd, working the smarks, working all the ancillary ways we find out information, you know, kudos. You know, I want you to have that match at Mania where you and Daniel Bryan have individual matches and you set the bar so high and people go, you know what's a great match? What? Daniel Bryan versus whoever. You know what's a great match? CM Punk versus whoever. What match was your big letdown? Man, that main event. You know, if he is done, you did a great job. Hold your head high. You only had 2 things you didn't accomplish in your career at the E. Win the Royal Rumble, main event WrestleMania. With the way the E is currently going, you know, be gone, come back in a couple years, make your run for it. And at that time, who knows? Daniel Bryan might actually break the glass ceiling, be a main event star. Maybe the 2 of you could finally headline WrestleMania together. And it'll be just like that moment where Eddie Guerrero was champion, and then was champion, and they embraced in the ring, and it was that moment that wrestling fans went, finally I feel like they get it. Maybe we'll have that again in the future if we ever get to see Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk main event of WrestleMania.